Welcome to Midnight Story. Tonight, let your body become still. Let the day loosen its hold on you. There's nowhere you need to go. Nothing you need to solve. Only a story to gently drift through your thoughts. This is not a loud story. It doesn't rush. It doesn't demand attention. It simply unfolds, like the slow dimming of lights in a familiar room. The White House has stood through centuries of sound. Voices raised in urgency. Footsteps echoing through long corridors. Typewriters tapping late into the night. Phones ringing with news that could not wait until morning. It is a place that rarely rests. And yet, there was one night, a night without a date, without a document, when the White House fell completely silent. No official record exists of what happened. No memo explains it. No diary confirms it. Only the memory of stillness. On the outside, Washington moved as it always does. Cars passed along Pennsylvania Avenue. Streetlights hummed softly. The city breathed. But inside those white walls, sound began to thin. At first, no one noticed. Why would they? Silence often slips in quietly, unnoticed, like sleep itself. A phone sat untouched for minutes longer than usual. A hallway felt oddly empty. Footsteps seemed heavier, as though the building itself was listening. The lights remained on. The air felt normal. And yet, something had shifted. People lowered their voices without knowing why. Not out of fear, not out of instruction, but instinct, as if the walls had asked for quiet. Somewhere upstairs, a president sat awake. Not unusual. Presidents carry nights the way others carry briefcases. He stared out a window, jacket draped over a chair, watching the lawn disappear into darkness. Even he noticed it, the absence of noise, no distant movement, no radio chatter, no faint echoes from the halls. Just breathing. He opened the door gently. A guard stood nearby, calm and steady. They nodded to one another. They did not speak. Words felt unnecessary, out of place. Down long corridors, clocks slowed. Not all at once. One by one, a soft ticking stopped, and was not replaced. Time did not freeze. It simply rested. The White House has memory. Not memory like a person remembers, but like stone remembers warmth. Like wood remembers hands that once touched it. On that night, the building seemed to remember everything. The laughter of past dinners. The grief carried through its halls. Decisions whispered into the late hours. Not as sounds, but as feelings. And then even those faded, leaving nothing but quiet. Two staff members sat at opposite ends of a long hallway. They hadn't planned to sit there. They simply found themselves still. Neither checked the time, neither spoke. They shared a nod, a human acknowledgement, as if to say, yes, I feel it too. No fear, no urgency, just presence. Outside, dawn began its slow approach. And with it, sound returned. A clock resumed its gentle rhythm. A radio crackled softly. The White House exhaled. Morning arrived without explanation. Schedules resumed. Meetings continued. No one announced what had happened. And yet, for those who were there, the silence stayed with them. Not as a mystery to solve, but as a reminder that even the busiest places, even the most powerful rooms in the world, sometimes need to rest. And now, as this story quiets, notice the stillness around you. Your breathing, your body sinking into comfort. The gentle permission to let go. Like the White House on that forgotten night. You don't need to hold the world right now. You can set it down. Sleep is already near, waiting patiently. In the quiet, let your body grow heavy. Let the noise of the day slowly drift away. You don't have to imagine too much. Just listen. Just rest. This story doesn't rush. It moves the way night moves. Quietly, patiently, without asking anything from you. The White House has always been full of sound. Even when the city sleeps, the building does not. There are always footsteps somewhere. A soft radio murmur. The low hum of electricity. The quiet rustle of paper being moved by tired hands. It is a place built for decisions. And decisions are rarely silent. For generations, the walls have listened. They have listened to arguments whispered behind closed doors. They have listened to laughter during moments of relief. They have listened to grief that had nowhere else to go. Sound is part of its identity. And that is why this night was different. Because silence arrived without warning. It didn't slam the doors shut. It didn't announce itself. It simply settled in. At first, the building felt unusually calm. The kind of calm people sometimes wish for on long days. Phones didn't ring as often. Voices softened naturally. No one asked anyone else to be quiet. They just were. A young staff member noticed her pen sounded louder than usual on the page. She paused mid-sentence, listened, and frowned slightly. Not worried, just curious. Somewhere down a long corridor, a radio went quiet. No static, no warning, just absence. Lights stayed on. Air flowed gently through vents. Everything functioned, except sound itself felt distant, as though it had stepped back to observe. Footsteps became slow and deliberate. People walked carefully, as if the building were asleep. Above it all, a president remained awake. Not unusual. Presidents often carry the night with them. They sit with thoughts that do not rest easily. Thoughts that cannot be shared. Thoughts that wait until the world grows quiet. But this quiet was different. He noticed it in the way the room felt larger. In the way the air seemed still. In the way his own breathing sounded unfamiliar. He stood near the window for a long time. Long enough to forget how long he had been standing. When he finally opened the door, he did so gently, as if afraid to disturb something fragile. A guard stood nearby, steady and alert. They exchanged a look. No words. None were needed. Speaking felt unnecessary. Almost disrespectful. Downstairs, clocks began to slow. Not dramatically. Not together. One hallway clock simply stopped ticking. Another paused mid-second. Time did not break. It rested. Some later said it felt as if the building itself had closed its eyes. The White House has memory. Not memory like stories written in books. But memory like warmth trapped in stone. Like echoes held deep in wood. On this night, the building remembered everything. It remembered the first footsteps ever taken across its floors. It remembered candlelight flickering against fresh white walls. It remembered presidents who paced these halls, unsure, exhausted, hopeful. It remembered nights filled with fear. And nights filled with relief. And for a brief while, it remembered them all at once. Not as noise, not as images, as feeling. People sensed it without understanding it. A groundskeeper paused while walking. A clerk sat down without realizing why. A security officer rested his hand against a wall longer than usual. No one felt threatened. No one felt alarmed. They felt held. Two staff members found themselves sitting at opposite ends of a long hallway. They had not planned to stop. They simply did. Minutes passed. They did not check the time. They did not speak. Eventually, one looked up and offered a small nod. The other returned it. A quiet agreement. Yes, this is happening. Yes, it's all right. Outside, the city continued. Cars passed. Lights changed. Life moved on. But inside the White House, the world paused. There were no records made that night. No notes. No logs. No explanations. Pens stopped. Mid-sentence. Audio recordings captured nothing but soft emptiness. History, for once, chose not to document itself. Hours passed like moments. Moments passed like breaths. And slowly, almost gently, sound returned. A clock resumed ticking. A radio whispered static before settling. Footsteps echoed again, familiar and grounding. Birdsong slipped through open windows. Morning arrived without ceremony. People returned to their routines. Coffee cups filled. Meetings resumed. No one announced anything unusual. And yet, those who were there felt it. A calm lingered in the halls. A softness, as if the building had rested. As if, for one night, the weight of the world had been set down. And now, as you listen, notice the quiet around you. Your breathing slowing, your body sinking deeper into rest. Like the White House on that forgotten night. You don't need to carry everything right now. You can let the world wait. Sleep is already close, moving gently toward you, unhurried, patient. There is nothing you need to do. Nothing you need to remember. If you are new my channel, please subscribe and press bell icon. Just drift into the silence and rest. Sweet dreams. Good night.